Okay. Okay, welcome to my channel. This is You Too Can Be Great. This is not a review. This is my personal commentary. Normally I do a What's Wrong With You episodes, but there's several things wrong with several people that I'm going to discuss in this particular review, or not review, or conversation I'm going to have with y'all. Now, there's so much good tea. Boozie's little situation with his son and a paternity test coming up, saying that he's not the father, and Boozie just posting pictures online saying that this issue is something that his son had been going through. First of all, Boozie has been a proclaimer of being a good father, being a good parent, but then there are certain things as a parent that are questionable, like hiring what looks like hookers to come and help your son lose his virginity or some mess like that. I'm not exactly sure the entire storyline, but it was just inappropriate. Now you saying that your kid is having paternity issues. Is he slinging his thing around to that extreme that he's not able to understand that when he actually has a child on the way? All this single parent households or single households or whatever that they're just creating and parading, baby mama, baby father, baby this, baby that, that's not cute. So I don't know why you even would be proud to even announce this to the public. For me as a parent, I would be embarrassed that my son even had to go to this situation. I don't want to tell nobody. But apparently he's proud and he's arguing about it and he's letting everybody know. And Boosie is funny, but when you look at the root of what he's saying, sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it's just dumb, right? So I'm not going to focus on that one. Today we're going to go through several topics. First, we need to talk about Miss Nene. Close your legs to married man Nene, to married man Nene. Now, I call her Nene because I'm seeing Nene now. Okay, where do I start? So we know that right now Nene is being sued by her current boyfriend's current wife that he apparently allegedly disowned. And it seems like Nene has been showing up on Instagram or on TMZ for doing some crazy ish since Greg's passed away from colon cancer. So we know that when we're watching Real Housewives, when Kim Zolciak was on the show, they had several arguments. She had several arguments from season 1 all the way to the last season that she was on with Nene Leakes. And y'all remember, if you replay the show, the episodes, Nene had been constantly hounding her, saying that she was with that millionaire guy they call Big Papa. And he was the one giving her money. He was the one doing everything for her, paying for everything. She was basically a sugar baby. And she was like, close your legs to married men, close your legs to married men. And the most recent season that Kim was on, when Kenya ripped her to shreds about the whole John Legend tickets and her daughter saying that who does she have to blow to get those tickets, all that nonsense occurred in that particular fight. If y'all go back, they were going back and forth, and they were talking about Nene now threw in her face that she basically was a hoe and that she's going around and she's, dating married men. And if y'all pay attention, Kim also told Nene, well, Greg was married when you were with him type. She kind of threw that in there. And Nene was like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Y'all remember that? So now let's flash forward to the current time. So currently, since Greg passed away, Nene has now found her next dude. He's, they look good together. I think he's 54 years old or whatever the case is. I'm not sure. They're together and they seem happy. However, it just comes out that the current wife of this new guy, who we now found out that he technically just abandoned, I guess that's what it said, is now suing Nene. First of all, before I even get into the lawsuit and talking about that, what I see going on, my whole point I'm going to make is now what looks like Greg's daughter from a different mother, Katrina Leakes, or I'm not sure, maybe that's her name, piped in on social media and actually said, let me find the comment. It says, looks like Nene Leakes is being sued by her boyfriend's wife for allegedly ruining their marriage. And in that same post, somebody put, Nene, you knew that man was married. And then the Katrina Leakes, or some name of Katrina Leakes, now popped up, said, so was my dad, Greg, when she met him, but I digress. So now when that happened and I read that, I refer back to what Kim had told Nene on that reunion episode where she said Greg was married when you were still with him, and they were going back and forth, and Nene was like, I've been with Greg for 20 years. And so come on. And then Kim was like, I've been with Corey for 10 years. So come on. Y'all need to go back and rewatch that episode. So this is what they're talking about. So basically we're seeing a pattern here. Nene has a tendency to go and steal people's marriage, sees people's men in marriages. Now, initially when I saw this whole lawsuit situation, I thought that was just dumb. I was like, first of all, if in an event of a marriage and someone steps out of the marriage or adultery is committed, you're supposed to be going after the person you were married to who actually signed into a marriage certificate saying they're married to you. So the wife should have been suing her husband, not Nene. She's suing Nene because probably Nene's pockets is deeper than her husband's. She wants to get paid for whatever the situation is. And if she can get money out of it, she can. And I don't think that she initially knew that she can get money out of it. I think somebody had to probably whisper in her ear like, yo, if your husband's going to cheat on you with this woman who's going around on TV telling people I'm a rich bitch, I'm rich this, I'm rich, I was cashing Donald Trump checks, then girl, you better go ahead and get you some money. Some of you guys might say, well, that's dumb. You know, what can she get? You know, and Nene's not the one that she legally married. The boyfriend is the one that she was legally married to. So she needs to be suing him. But I looked it up. According to the state of North Carolina, where the lawsuit was filed, it is a criminal act for adultery to be committed. It is. I didn't even know that existed. I was in shock when I read that. I said, hold up, hold up. Now I know this country prides itself on "in God we trust," but we see a lot of ungodly things that are occurring tremendously all over the place. But I had no idea that it was actually a criminal in law in any state in this country, that adultery is a criminal act. I read it. It says in the court documents, the wife states that she suffered from emotional distress, mental anguish, and loss of affection. And then it says adultery is a misdemeanor in North Carolina criminal law. And this woman is asking to get $100,000 from Nene's pockets. See, I'm not offended by her actually taking advantage of that law because it exists. I'm offended by she's suing the wrong person, which means that you just out for money. I'm sorry. That's just my take on it. Because why would you sue the mistress when the man who swore loyalty to you is the one who sought the mistress out in the first place? That makes no sense. You know what you're doing. So online, it actually said that the alleged wife says Nene posted picture after picture of her and her new man, humiliating her and cratering her relationship with her husband. The woman claims she suffered emotional distress, mental anguish, and a loss of affection. In case you're wondering, North Carolina is one of 7 states, or there's 7 of them, where a person can sue a spouse's extramarital partner for alienation of affection. Most states have disallowed such suits because it's really just the game of love. The woman is gunning for more than $100K. So there are states out there that actually said that you can sue the hoe. I did not know that. So all this while that all these men are out here sleeping with all these different girls, y'all didn't know that if you were married to him, you can actually go and sue the hoe. That way some of these hoes can be held accountable. Child, oh my God. So some of y'all need to find those 7 states. Move yourself to North Carolina and take your man with you. Because while you're there, don't say nothing. If he then cheats on you, you can go ahead and sue the person that he's with who didn't know. This entire situation just sounds absurd. But in the track record of Nene, it just seems like she cannot stay out of court. Recently, before this situation occurred, y'all know that she was just suing Bravo. I don't know if it was before or after Candy's old lady gang show came up, that she decided to sue Bravo because of unfair treatment, saying that there's favoritism and it doesn't go for the black person. And that was allegedly what she was saying in the suit, and that was what she was approaching. We all thought it was a stretch because we're like, okay, yeah, there's some biases that we see on the Real Housewives of the show, but there was a times we also saw that Nene's behavior was just reckless on the show. She just did a lot of crazy stuff when she attacked the professional people on the video camera in her house when she was going through it because her and Greg were dealing with something. There's been other things that she has done because she wants to be held into on a certain level, because she's an OG, and maybe Nene had pushed too far. She maybe had let some of that stardom go to her head, so she stretched herself too thin, telling people she's rich, she's this, she's all that, she's doing all this. I think that she lost the lack of, she was humble when I first saw her on the series. As time went by and she got more money, that money that people get to their head when you're not as wealthy, but then you touch wealth, it can alter your brain to where she now thought that she was above it all. And I think that she needed to humble herself a little bit. Either way, this is what, let me just drink this real quick. Either way, she had a lawsuit going. How that lawsuit is going, I don't know. I haven't looked at it. Some of y'all might already know. But I do know that there were some some Twitter feed messages that she put up during that time. And some of it read like this. The racist is the master manipulator. They're using me for ratings like they have always done. They gonna leave my name out of these shows. Send me your best discrimination attorneys info. It's war. They always manipulating black women to say negative things about each other while they sit and enjoy us tearing each other down. Well, girl, I'm sorry. Weren't you the one that tried to spell on Kenya? Then it says, remember hashtag BLM, remember hashtag Breonna Taylor, remember the most racist networks. Girl, I don't know why she even threw that in there, because what you're suing for has nothing to do with the cause. Now you're minimizing it. I'm so sorry. I'm all for Nene doing whatever she can to get her coins if she can't be on the show. I mean, hell, we just suing people left and right. If you hit somebody with a car and you hit or a tree hits your car, you can actually sue the city for putting that tree in the wrong place. I mean, there are several lawsuits that are going on here just for the money grab. I get that, but some of the things that she was saying were out of pocket. Then it continues, I will always eat and eat good. Believe that. I've always believed in multiple streams of income, so the leaks are good. You old cocaine head and you old racist. No one knew you until you knew me. Remember, I'm icon. Don't forget. Then it's like, keep trying me, sir, and I'm gonna let the world know who you really are. She on cocaine, so they should stop using her to talk. They both need my help with their poor ratings. Both are F, their ratings are low. Bye, queens. And that was when she was talking about Wendy, when Wendy mentioned her. So she just popped up at the mouth. So Nene has been on our radar for a lot of things, okay, that's not good. Initially, we were kind of giving her, condolences when Greg was going through what he was going through. But I also remember her on the show when Greg was going through what he was going through the initial time when he was doing chemo before he had to go back for a second and he came back. Nene was very selfish. Now, let me be clear. None of us know what happens behind closed doors. None of us knows what was said. But I had to think that when a human being has an illness that is terminal, that the fear that they have within themselves can make them lash out at whoever it is that's around them. That could be the one taking care of them. AKA Greg could have been lashing out at Nene on a lot of occasions and saying a lot of mean things because he's dying and he's probably afraid, unlike her, that would still have years to live. He's frustrated with the situation. He probably thinks she wasn't doing enough. He may have wanted her to do more, and she was doing the best she could. And all this other stuff that she was doing, he wasn't able to process it because he was just going through so much. I can't imagine walking around thinking that you were going to die. You could die at any minute. How your mental state would be. Nene being his wife, you're supposed to be with somebody for better or worse and to take certain things and then wait till he's cured. If he gets cool and is out of his system, then maybe address, hey, when you were going through this, I didn't appreciate how you were treating me because you were going through this. You understand what I'm saying? However, on the season, she kept saying stuff like, I'm the one who's going through all this. And I'm just looking at her like, girl, you ain't dying. When we all saw that, for me, it left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know about y'all. It left a bad taste in my mouth for her even saying that. However, we did give her support. Every time we saw Greg on TV, he seemed like a decent person. I liked him except for when he was trying to beat up Peter. Do you want to die? Do you want to die? I mean, that was just a whole mess. Two old people with bones that are already withering and trying to pick a fight. Y'all will hurt each other. Y'all might end up in wheelchairs. But that was, every time I saw him on screen, he seemed okay. But that was essentially what Nene was on the news for, or on the Twitter feed or on TMZ for, this whole Greg situation, until after he passed away. Then it's just all negative. It's a lawsuits, is this mess. Now, online with this going on, it seems like there were other people that had the husband or the dude actually spoke up online and said something like, the best you can do to yourself in life's not to allow negative people to bring you down to their level. Just maintain your self-respect and keep away from them. Know that you can't hang out with negative people and expect to live a positive life. Don't forget that the less you respond to negative people, like my separated, the more peaceful your life will become. Always surround yourself with people who value your worth. And if someone doesn't appreciate your presence, the best you can do is to let them appreciate your absence. Avoid the ingrates, those who complain about one thing you haven't done for them instead of being appreciated for the thousands of things you've done for them. Leave them to stew in their ingratitude, but don't hate them. Just maintain your focus and don't stress. Hashtag stay focused. I'm assuming he's talking to his wife, child, because he said somebody was ungrateful. He said the person was an ingrate. He said the person was disturbing his peace and that this person needs to enjoy his absence. Child, it sounds like you talking to your ex. which means that you are married, which means that Nene ain't closing her legs to married men like she was yelling at Kim in her face. I mean, y'all both cut from the same cloth, apparently. I mean, hell, I know that Nene has said, you know, there are a bunch of single men out there. Ain't nobody trying to steal your man. If he's married on paper, girl, you stealing somebody's man. He ain't free. I mean, Portia had her man and went and got her man the same way, child. Maybe you just took a page out of her book. I'm just saying. Then we get to the whole Monique situation, and oh my God. I have since posted a video. It was about an hour long on my page. When you're done with this, if you want to go check it out in snippets if you want to. Monique had responded on the whole DL situation. If you guys don't know the story of what actually occurred, apparently they were both booked to do a comedy show in the same location. And Monique and her contract was supposed to be the headliner. And from what I understand, that means she was supposed to be the last person kind of to close out the show. And somehow when Hughley got into the mix, somehow it was switched to where the contract that she had signed wasn't being honored. She was removed as a headliner, and DL was put in as the headliner. And there were a little bit of issues whether it was unfair because this is what she signed onto, or was it because he was a man? Was it because he was considered to be make more money? What was the real reason for this to happen? But the matter of fact is it did happen. DL went and posted something showing, it looked like what the new revised docket or whatever, or how things were gonna go. And his name was listed as the headliner. Monique now went and put the original contract where she initially signed, and it did say that she was gonna be the headliner. So something happened to where she was going to be the headliner and she was wronged, and it was changed to him. Whether he had anything to do with it, it seems like that's why she's attacking him in particular because he had something to do with it. I don't know, but the situation is getting completely out of hand. It's starting to seem like there was some personal issues that were already brewing within herself and him that are now coming to light. We have seen Monique get into several issues with Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and we've seen certain things where it looked like she was being blackballed. It did. She did a wonderful job when Precious. I mean, that woman can act her butt off, that's for sure. But every time that she opens to speak, it's almost like people say it is a condescending way. Hello, my babies. Hi, my little babies. Yes, my babies. My babies come. I don't know if it's because she's significantly older than a lot of the people that she's talking to. Maybe that's why she's doing it. I don't know. But I do know that that's how she starts off with it. And she's even involved her husband into this whole fiasco. But when she seems, it's almost like initially, I know she also had an issue with Oprah, but hell, everybody have an issue with Oprah and Gail because we feel like they just, traded up. But either way, I would have accepted Monique having an issue with one person, maybe two. But now it's getting to be a lot of people. And then there's an issue with Steve Harvey as well. It's like a lot of people that she's had issues with. And yes, these individuals are not perfect. Yes, they've done some things that I would say are just not tasteful. But when the way that she approaches it, and I think her approach and how she handles it comes off to make her look worse than the actual situation she's complaining about. You really have to pay attention to understand what she means. In this situation with Hughley, if that was the case, if the contract that I saw was real and she was supposed to perform as the last person to close it out as a headliner, then it was foul what they did to her. But she should have addressed it privately, addressed him, and not made such a huge scene about it, because now it just went overboard to where DL is now going around talking about it, saying that she's the problem in this whole thing, trying to vilify her, and it's going to make people miss the point of what Monique is trying to say. However annoying and condescending comes out, in this particular situation, I would say that she was wronged. Y'all let me know what you think, because I feel like she was wronged. I saw the contracts, and the original one and the one that was put out, it did say that she was supposed to be a headliner, and all of a sudden it was moved to him. I just want to know whether he had something to do with it, or whether it was the people, the company that were put on the show that had something to do with it. We want to know who the culprit is. But he spoke on it and said she was the problem. And so I think that's what it is. But it wasn't like they were focused on the actual issue. They were just veering off the script. So DL went and made his response and basically blamed Monique for everything, saying it's her fault. Now he really understands how things, how people can work with her and not work with her again, how he was advised not to work with her. He chose to work with her, and this is the result of it. And then he went and did several interviews. And in one of the interviews he did, he was actually discussing how there was a time where his daughter came up to him and told him that there was a man who may have attacked her or abused her or was doing something inappropriate to her. And because DL was fond of the person or liked the person, he did not protect his child. And that was something that he would forever live with. So Monique piggybacked off of that. And this is what she wrote online. She said, This is based upon DL's own words that you just heard. When I said how can DL's wife suck of a coward, this is what I meant. When my husband and I said we have to fight for the little girls coming up behind us, and you see DL did believe his own daughter over a friend because he seemingly likes his friend more than he loved his own daughter and didn't want to be bothered by the inconvenient truth. This highlights why the black woman isn't believed when she publicly speaks about her trauma. What does the black woman and his DL's black wife have coming? Watch who stands with this man, and you're looking at the same ones who will sit down when you our sisters are being attacked. I find it funny that DL will call out Ice Cube, Kanye, Reza Islam, Angela Stanton, myself, etc., but he won't call out the name of the person that violated his daughter. First of all, I think that's a stretch. I think that she kind of used that interview and that incident where D.L. Hughley is admitting fault and admitting that there are a lot of people in this society, like priests, governors, people, police officers, even think, your own grandfather, your own uncle, people that you would never in this lifetime think would ever do something like that would end up being the culprit that did something like that. And statistically speaking, they did say that when it comes to rape or anything like that, molestation, the majority of people who are doing those things to you, even trafficking, are people that you know. It will be your own cousin that will try to traffic your daughter. It will be you'll be your own uncle that will try to try to abuse your son. It's because of these are people that you're around. Okay, so these are people that you're in front of. And he mentioned Color Purple when they said that a girl is not safe in a house full of men, because they did say that in The Color Purple, and it's true. A girl is not safe in a house full of men if there's not one person there to protect her. And generally, there could be the person who's supposed to be protecting you is the person who's the one that's abusing you. Do you get what I'm saying? And it happens more than it doesn't. Majority of people who get abused is not from outside or from random stranger. It's from somebody that they know who has groomed them to be in that position. So DL is talking about it and mentioned the whole talking about it, and then he brings up the fact that his daughter was one of the people that end up telling him something about it, and he would never ever always have to live with the fact that he did not believe her when she said it because he liked the person that she was accusing, which can tend to happen. I don't know if somebody comes up to me and says that somebody I trust and have known for 25 or whatever many years has been abusing this person, it's going to be very hard for me to take in, but I would need to really pay attention. I don't know how I'll handle that situation. I think if I'm struggling with believing the stories, because some people can lie too, that can happen, at least I can do is separate that individual from that person and at least have a conversation with that person, letting them know this is what my child told me. I don't know if this is what's happening for sure, because I can't tell, and if I get my child examined, I may not have proof, but until now, you need to keep your distance if this is what she says you're doing. Just keep your distance. Don't go anywhere near her. But he just decided not to believe her, and that was something that he talked about. So Monique, instead of focusing on what her issue was with him on the program and piggybacked off of it and now said, oh, it's the black woman, you're not rescuing black women. I'm confused about her point and her motive. I get that the black woman is one of the most insulted people on earth. I'm sorry. There's always people saying, oh, when black women are too angry, we're too this, we're too aggressive, we're too that. There's always all these different things, yet we're the ones who will stick by somebody who ain't shit. Taking care of that person, nursing that person, feeding that person, taking care of their kids. And you will see other people who are not the black person doing some horrendous things when they get mad or when there's a divorce in play. You see them rip, they'll tell stories. Y'all see the whole Amber Heard and, situation that happened right now with the whole court case. That type of shit happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in all races. What I'm saying is there's a lot of significant effort to vilify us as if we're some really bad breed of people to even marry, and that's not the case. That's never been the case. Y'all should have watched that TikTok. I think one of the dudes is a white dude that did a TikTok saying that he actually prefers black women because we're the type of woman that if you're with us and we love you and you treat us right, you will be successful. A majority of black women will push you to be successful because we're just strong in our nature. But I digress. So if we're reading what's online so far, so Monique has now she's gone past just speaking about what she experienced with Hughley on while they were supposed to perform it, and she's now gone personal, right? So she called him a coward. She mentioned the mama, his wife, and then I guess Hughley's child did not like what Monique said. She wasn't feeling it. So she went and she said, I'm Ryan Nicole Shepard, D.L. Hughley and LaDonna Hughley's eldest daughter. You've now publicly disrespected my mother, who I love and care for very much, and my baby sister, who I love and care for very much, to get back at my father, who I love, respect, and care for very much. At this point, I feel like you are asking my family and myself to act out of character. Out of all the things you could have legitimately said about my dad, if that's the route you wanted to take, you chose to be deliberately mean and hurtful to two black women who have nothing to do with this conversation. Using my mama and my sister to show people my father's character only shows how little mental stability, dignity, morality, and respect you have, not only for yourself, but other black women. You're clearly 2 crayons short of the full box, sis. You're disgusting, and you absolutely need to keep every single member of my family's name out of your mouth. Absolutely need to keep, okay, she said, absolutely need to keep every single member of my family's name out of your poisonous mouth. She repeated that twice. Not because you can do us harm, you can't, but because you are adding to the historical and systemic disrespect and trauma of other black women who you claim to love. And for what? A check? You're bringing up trauma for a concert lineup discrepancy. All you've done is proven that you have no moral compass. Nothing is too far in your quest to prove a point, and I'm blessed that my parents raised children who have no idea how you could possibly go here. We Hugleys are going to have a good ass day and a blessed life. We are healed, we are whole, and we love each other fiercely and deeply. You can continue to live in that scorched earth kingdom of yours. Get some help, ma'am, for real. Oh, and if you want to have this conversation in person, I'll happily give you my address. Child, this heifer don't play. And then Hughley now said, the love between our family is evident and clear. And while I'm beyond proud of the way my eldest daughter handled this disgusting attack, this is not their fight. They have been repeatedly attacked for no reason. This needs to end. I'll speak my mind on this later today. I'm not mad at them. I have to be honest, I'm not mad at this family, child. This is what I would do for my father. You need to just hush. If you mad about a lineup situation, or you mad that they didn't put you as a headliner at the contract that you were supposed to, go talk to the people that designed the contract and what they did. Have them pay you for your pain and suffering. Have them compensate you for their discrepancy. They have that right to do that. Tell them, you messed up. I signed this contract. You did the wrong thing. You owe me for my pain and suffering. Leave this man's family alone, child. But there's also a video circulating with Monique, apparently with Steve Harvey. Apparently there was a time when she called him a racist term that starts with a C, right? And they asked Steve, how do you feel about it? And Steve said, anybody who knows me, first of all, knows not to ever refer to me as that, number one. Number two, I don't give a about what this woman is saying, because she is irrelevant. Because if I look at Monique's income compared to, or net worth compared to Steve Harvey's, the way Steve Harvey's is going, I think he makes more money. I'm just saying, and not because he's just a man, but because I see him doing a whole lot of stuff. Monique hasn't really been on screen to the extent that she was when she did The Parkers and when she did Precious. She hasn't been there to that extreme. The last movie I saw her in, she was playing an extra character on a movie, I forgot the name because it was very where their siblings, the Adiya was in there as well, and one of them was cheating. It was a dinner table and stuff like that. One of the pills, I don't remember the name of the movie, but it was not really like a big thing for her. The biggest movie I've seen her in that I said would be most recent for me is Precious. I haven't really seen her major in a lot of things, and I know she did a hosting for Flavor of Love's Charm School, whatever, that was just bull. But Monique, and she was in Love and Hip Hop as a host as well. So she hasn't really put herself out there to the extent. Steve does Family Feud. Steve had Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. He has other different companies, I'm sure. I mean, he's doing very well. So he's not gonna care about Monique's comments and how she's disrespecting people, because Monique is starting to look bad in the eyes of the public. She really is. She needs to just slow down, calm down, recalculate herself, stop calling all of us babies, because we ain't all babies. We can still comprehend that what you're doing is going too far. Even if you have a legitimate reason to be upset, you're handling it all wrong. Which brings me to my last topic, okay, which is the Kim Kardashian family. And child, this family is doing everything that they can to become relevant, because they know now that their vajayjay is not going to be enough to keep them relevant as time goes by. Yes, they have their companies, and Kim's out here allegedly stealing people's names and stuff for her business. We don't know if it's true or not, or fact, whatever. But essentially, one of her businesses she just started was extremely similar to another business name, and in the same field. But she's not trending for that. She's trending for recently saying, and I think that she said it on her show, on this new show that I don't watch, that she initially, after breaking up with Kanye, which Kanye West actually helped her become relevant, more relevant, But she said that the only reason that she wanted to date Pete initially was because she heard he had big D energy, and that she was just DTF. Now, I don't know whether I'm comfortable with a 41-year-old woman with 4 kids. How many kids she has? 4? On national television or wherever the hell she was at, telling people that she just thought that he had big D energy and she was DTF, because recently in the beginning of the series, one of the episodes that came up was her boohooing because her son, somebody was talking about her and her little sex tape that she did with Ray J on Roblox, and she was on the show. As a mother, you just don't think that your past or things that you can't control or things that you can't help would affect your children in the future, and you just see that people can be so mean and will put something like that for a child to see. And as a mother, when he came to me and said that, I just could not. It was the most painful thing a mother could experience, because you're being held accountable to something that you had no control of. And after she was done doing that little spiel, Ray J then aired all her business. Girl, you were not a victim. You chose to have that tape out. Heck, we had several takes. You did probably 15 to 20 of those things. I had copies before Kanye went and got them from me. I still have a few that left behind. We had several takes to get those videos perfect. And then we signed contracts to make you some money. Then we leaked our own tape with you out here selling yourself. And it was one of the famous ones. And that's how you got yourself on the map to be making the money that you're making. And you still ain't getting me no cut. So you want to be sitting up here crying? Now, she's now said another thing that can come back and somebody can mention it on Roblox to her kids. Or on Fortnite. Somebody can say something to the kids and she's going to be sitting up there on TV talking about, I just never thought that saying that I was DTF would affect my baby in this way. Even though Kanye told you don't want your kids on TikTok, somebody's going to get one of your kids on TikTok and say, remember when your mama said this? Because I'm looking at her. She's 41, he's 28. First of all, that combination with the way that you behave don't even seem like it's going to last. So I know you were DTF, but we don't need to know it out loud. We know that's what you were trying to do, you know, with that long tongue that he has. Have you guys seen Pete Davidson's tongue? How long that thing is? How long it is? I mean, some people have the weapon and the equipment and don't know how to use it. But from what we have heard, he knows how to use his equipment. And as long as that tongue is, and as fat as it is, you know what I'm saying? Oh my God. So we already knew why you were with him, because you went from Kanye to Pete. And I don't think that Pete's net worth is even remotely close to Kanye's, but you chose him for a reason. So we all know that that's probably why you chose him, but you don't have to say it. Everything don't have to be said. At this point, you may be just seeking attention. Because after this was said, we find out that she is currently in UK, touring UK with her boyfriend. We don't know where the kids are, but she's touring, enjoying her best life. But while she's there was a 70-year acknowledgement of the Queen was having a 70-year public service acknowledgement, and it was supposed to be at the Queen's Platinum. It was supposed to be a Queen's Platinum Jubilee event. It was open to the public. Everybody in UK could come. Kim K requested to actually go to that thing, which I'm probably she was going to go to it and put it up online immediately, saying that she was so glad to have experienced something that was so historical. That was basically what she was going to do. The Queen said, nope. You need to just go ahead and continue to be DTF. You don't need to be here. We don't need that type of stuff. So you just go ahead and go. She was denied entry, so she's not going to get the video with that situation. She just needs to go ahead and enjoy Europe with her boo. But let's be clear, girl, with the things that you're saying, I know that y'all can see that the Kardashians' time is limited. There are several people that are billionaires. Oprah is out there with her money. There are several people who have a lot of money, but they don't put themselves out there in a negative light to get attention. And I think the Kardashians are gradually fading away as far as being reality stars. They still have their companies and they can still make money. I don't know if Kim is ready to leave that life behind, even though she said that she was trying to get her law degree. She's going to try to find whatever method that she can to stay relevant on TV. That's a thing for her. I think that they've been doing it for so long. She's just so used to it that she will say and do whatever she needs to do to get to where she needs to be, including lie to us and tell us that she didn't do that sex tape on purpose. And number two, sit up here and said that she's sorry about, she's gonna be shocked if somebody goes and tells her son, hey, your mom says she's DTF, you know, can I meet her? Girl, you just keep sinking yourself. Anyway, I did post the video on the Real Housewives of Dubai. Go ahead and check it out, along with the video with Monique's response. It's lengthy, but if you have time, go ahead and check out. I think it's good for you to hear what she had to say. But that's the extent of this information. So let me know what y'all think at the bottom of the comments below, and you guys have a good rest of your evening. Bye.